Welcome back to the channel. Stefano Subs, this is Steph Skills here. A little bit of a different video today. I wanted to invite you guys into a little bit of my story and my world and some things that I oftentimes have a hard time discussing, but I think it definitely has its place. It has some value. And for those of you who are young, ambitious, we all have a lot to learn. We have a lot to grow from and a lot to do going forward. And so I think this video will definitely speak to you if you're someone that wants to build something with your life. So again, I want to go through a little bit of the story. I don't want to get too far into it because I want to make sure that I can really keep my focus on you guys and those watching. But I do want to share a bit about my story. And then I want to get into some other things that I've learned along my journey scaling to multiple seven figures in terms of the online space, the info product space, over the past 2.5 years, things I've learned, lessons I've learned along the way. And the main component that I really want to speak on is the environment that you're in and how if you are not in the right environment, you will never actually end up growing. So without further ado, of course, let's dive into it. If you guys want to shoot me a follow real quick, Steph Skills, at Steph Skills on Instagram and at Steph Skills on TikTok as well. My team actually put together a whole TikTok account. That's just, quick reels, quick little pieces of value that you guys can go check out. But let's go ahead and dive into it. So real quick, again, starting off with my story, who I am. Again, my name is Stefanos, as you guys know. I started off in the info space, the high ticket space, just over 2.5 to 3 years ago at this point. Prior to that, I was actually doing a bunch of different things. I was always working multiple jobs. I always wanted to work. I always wanted to build something for myself, and really had a hard time with a lot of different things, and a lot of pains that I'm going to share with you guys today. But it's hard for me to open up about some stuff. But essentially, like, we'll zoom out, I would say back in 2019, 2020. So I was actually working a 9 to 5 full-time job, as many of you might be right now. Of course, if you're a coach or consultant and you're looking to build up in the info space, build up in your craft, that's the second half of this video is really going to be for you, because I am going to share something very specific. But for those of you who are just starting out in your business, maybe you're wanting to get into growth operating, consulting, sales, whatever it might be, I want to talk to you guys as well. So yeah, 9 to 5, 2 years ago, 3 years ago rather, doing that full time, really just thinking I had made it. I was making, like, I don't know, 50, 60 grand a year, whatever the case may be, before tax, as you guys know. Living in Montreal at the time, obviously they're taking a large portion of that away, and had my own place, was building up a lot of different things. That's when I first got, had left the nest, so to speak, and tried to get my feet on the ground. But I struggled with so many different things, because, you guys, I would show up to this job every single day, this 9 to 5 job, and I just knew that wasn't going to be it for me. I just knew that I wanted to make so much money to the point where I could provide for, of course, myself. But guys, if you're watching, you understand. You're probably simple as well. You don't require too much for yourself, but what you do want to do is live a great life and provide for those around you. But I knew that wasn't going to be the key. And so what I started doing is finding different ways to make money. So what I actually ended up doing was valeting as well. I worked as a valet, actually at the restaurant literally across the street from here, guys. So crazy story how that ended up happening. But valet, working the 9 to 5, just really spinning my wheels, getting to the point where no matter how much I was working, and that's the thing with funny thing with working 9 to 5 is, for those of you who have, or maybe you are right now, you always feel like you're in that hamster wheel, yet you have this crazy false sense of security. Like, that you're getting that paycheck next week or the week after, and so you're just like, all right, if I just keep doing this, if I just keep working my way up the corporate ladder, like, God willing, it's gonna happen. And in most cases, guys, just to be quite frank, you end up never getting anywhere. And so that's what happened to me. Is I actually ended up obviously having a lot of expenses. Got a car, place, things of that nature. Ended up having a partner at the time, and realized that this is never going to work. Like, I'm never going to be able to make the kind of money that I want to make to actually get me anywhere. And I want to paint this picture very clear for you guys. So I was working a 9 to 5. I was working at my friend's restaurant. It was a Greek cafe at the time. So crazy. Greek cafe at night shifts. So I'd work my 9 to 5. I would go work at the cafe at night and work till, I don't know, God knows, 11 p.m., midnight, 1 in the morning, whatever it was, every single day. And then I also valeted as well. So whenever I didn't have shifts, I would valet, and also valet on the weekends too. So I'd do full valet shifts, like, 3 p.m. to 1 a.m. or 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. Normally that was what I was doing. And it got to the point where, guys, where I was doing all of that, and you have to understand, I'm working about 120 something, God knows, hours a week at this point, and I'm still unable to save more than $400 or $500 a month. Like, I'm at a point where, like, I'm at 3.5, 4 grand, 5 grand, like max, right? After tax and everything gets taken out of your paycheck. And I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, this is not gonna work. And unfortunately, guys, I'm one of those individuals that I go all the way in everything I do. And as a result, I had to learn the hard way. And what ended up happening was I was no longer able to provide for myself and my partner at the time. So I ended up actually leaving that apartment that we had, which was a nice apartment, left that apartment that we had. I had to sell a lot of my belongings. This is really, guys, this is tough. I had to sell a lot of my belongings, almost everything. Moved back into a smaller place, still couldn't afford the rent. Just a very, very tough period of my life, and ended up obviously, losing that relationship and afford, obviously having to go through that pain. And worse than that, put someone else through that pain. So I want you guys to understand, like, this is something that it proved to me that no matter how much I was going to work at that point in time, more money was the answer, because ultimately I'm someone who loves to take care of people. I'm someone who loves to provide and give back. But the problem is, if you physically cannot, you can't pour out of an empty cup. And if you're pouring out of an empty cup, some of you guys might feel that right now. If you're pouring out of an empty cup, I promise you can only do that for so long. It's not going to last forever. You're going to get to a point where you hit that brick wall, there's that breaking point, and you're like me. You lose your car, you can't make the payments on it anymore. You lose your apartment, you lose people around you that you're having a hard time providing for. So, guys, I promise you, it is not worth it. What I ended up doing at that point, moved back in with the parents. Very tough. Moved back in with the parents after 2 years, 2.5 years of being solo on my own, and had to rebuild, guys. And I had a couple grand of debt. I had like a couple $1,000, but it was in some like savings account that I couldn't touch, GIC, stuff like that. So it was absolutely terrible, guys. And I ended up getting an appointment setter position. And what I want to talk about at this point in time is, when I got the appointment setter position, I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have the faith in myself. And the reason why I didn't have the faith in myself is because I wasn't surrounded by people that were successful. No one in my family, immediate family, has been ultimately successful. Everyone was working 9 to 5, corporate jobs, hospital work, things of that nature. And of course, very noble things. However, I never was exposed to that kind of money, 20, 30, 40 grand a month. And it all started when I was valeting. I want to tell you guys a story. So, valeting cars, again, down the street over here. Crazy, crazy story. And this individual pulls up, and I'll never forget this. Blacked out G-Wagon, beautiful car. He hops out the car. Obviously, guy's in great shape. For sure, he's some sort of entrepreneur. And I look at him and I say, hey, man, is it your first time at this restaurant? And he goes, yeah, it is. I said, do you mind if I give you some recommendations? He says, no, sure, go ahead. Recommended a couple meals for him and his lady. They go ahead, they eat, they come back out. He's so impressed with the recommendations I gave him. He loved the food so much. He comes to me and says, listen, I want to tell you one thing, man. He gives me $100 bill. He says, do me a favor. You just made my experience at this restaurant so great. You're so much better than this. I'm going to come back here next Saturday, and I never want to see you here again. His name was Jagger. Shout out Jagger if you're watching this, brother. I hope you are, but literally changed my life, guys. In that very moment, somebody saw something in me that I did not see in myself. He saw in me that I could be something so much bigger. I had so much more skill. I was so much more capable than to be valeting at that restaurant. And I was appointment setting part-time here and there, but I never went full force into it because I just didn't believe in it enough. And sure thing, guys, I woke up one day and I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go full-time. Dropped my valet job, left my 9 to 5, which was the most life-changing experience. If you guys know, I'm going to drop a quick reel in the bio somewhere, right here, or you guys can probably click on it up here, but I'm going to go ahead and drop that link for that bio. Guys, in that bio, it's a quick synopsis of how I left my 9 to 5 and completely changed my life forever, turned my life around since then. Working full-time appointment setting, I moved up into a sales position, sales role full-time, smoked it on there, started making, again, multiple 6 figures a year, and eventually ended up building what we have today on the team, the consulting, the training, the mentees, and everything we have today. Just a quick synopsis, guys. I'm now able to fully provide for my parents, completely providing for myself, providing for other individuals in my family full-time, taking that next step now, of course, traveling and establishing myself in other countries, building out different sections and different businesses, and obviously being here to train you guys and help, if you're a coaching consultant, scale your business. So, guys, it is absolutely, I'm honored. I'm blessed by the man above, of course. Everything that followed that 9 to 5 or leaving that 9 to 5, and probably even that leaving that 9 to 5 itself would not have happened if I was not in the right environment. I was blessed to be put in the position where, of course, I had to let go of some individuals, but there were individuals around me that I could truly wholeheartedly see crushing it, being successful. And it's the environment that you're in, guys, that shapes you. And I finally was able to not only find success in myself, but create success in others. If you are in an environment right now where you feel held back, people are negative, there's always some stigma around you and what you're trying to build. And you get up every day and you have that fire deep inside you that you want to build something, you want to conquer, you want to go out there and do something for the world, not because you want it, not because you want more money, but because, guys, the world needs it, right? Entrepreneurship is not about money. Entrepreneurship is about creating something that the world needs. It's going to make the world a better place. That's the whole premise of it. And so if you guys are in that position right now, you have that mindset where you want to change your life, you want to make it happen, you have to cut all ties with the previous you. You have to look back at the previous you, look at yourself in the mirror and say, are you someone that I would look up to? Because I promise you guys, your superhero, the person you're looking up to is you. It's the you of tomorrow. It's the you that you're chasing. And always chase, guys. This was a very, very big piece of insight that I got from a mentor of mine who's multi-billionaire, actually has billion-dollar companies here, actually in Quebec, in Montreal. And he always told me, he said, the one thing I want you to know, Steph, is that you have to love the chase because you are always going to chase the next version of you. You're always going to look up and see the next version of you and say, how do I get there? And that is the whole point of the game, guys, is to get up every single day and to play. If you are still in business, if you are still in the game, if you are down right now, if you had someone leave you, if you had something happen to you that was terrible, guys, that is life. Absolutely. Life is not meant to be easy. But if you are in that position and you look up and you have faith and you look up and you see the vision of who you could be, I promise you guys, there are so many people watching this right now that I guarantee you have so much untapped potential. They have no idea. They can't even fathom who they can truly be if they actually put the work in. So I promise you guys, and the last thing I want to leave you guys off with here, okay? No matter who you are, where you're at watching this, if you are someone who wants to conquer, wants to build something, do not ever let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. Because I promise you wake up and there are people praying for you to fall back down. There are people praying on your downfall. There are people praying that you lose it all tomorrow. And I promise that they will continue to do so. But I want you to know that no matter what you are doing in your life, if you focus on leaving every conversation, every interaction, every moment, if you focus on leaving that person or that thing better off than how you found it at first as you exit, I promise it will come back to you tenfold. Guys, again, Steph Skills on Instagram. I'm going to link that quick biography below here if you guys want to hear about that story, leaving my 9 to 5, changing my life, and now changing my life once again. Not only that, but more importantly than my life, changing the life of those around me, and as well as you guys, hopefully, God willing, on this channel. Guys, go ahead and follow me again at Steph Skills. We do it for the family. We do it for the people around us. We do it for us. Wake up, guys. There is a different you. There is a next level you calling right now, ready to take it to the next level. So I will see you guys. I love you all, and I will catch you guys in the next one.